And in this one we are going to see Freya Bond, Ethan Copeland, Charlie Dickinson, Harvey Ball, Max Tomsit, Louis Lavelle, Oakley Poulter, who has moved up into this from the cadets, which is great. Warren Atkins, Henry Perrin, George Beck, Harrison Parkin, Max Smith, Harry Reid, Jack Hudson, Oliver Dan, Arthur Kaiser, Elijah West, who dominated the opening round. And then the novice plates are Amelia Jade Hay, Chloe Van Beneden, Alicia Waterhouse, Jensen King, Lenny Dorrington, Roman Takata, Nixie Hay and Zane Williams. So there are 25 drivers that make up the Inters. Anybody, like I say, with a black plate is a novice. We've got Elijah West, who won heat 1, 2 and 3 in the opening round, and then topped that off by winning the final as well. So absolutely the one to watch. In this opening heat, we'll be starting in 17th. So somebody to keep an eye on as the race develops. Just going through there with the gold helmet, there is Elijah. Like I say, we'll be starting down in 17th, so work to do in the opening heat. But that wasn't an issue in the opening round, so we'll see how we go. But we've got some good drivers out here in this class. Oakley Poulter, who obviously was sat third in the Honda Cadets, has moved up into the Rotax Inters for round 2. Here we go then, as we come through Tolley's, cut out the bus stop, and we're off and running. 43, the 37 there out front. That's Freya Bond and Ethan Copeland there, the ones leading the way as they go round Haynes Loop, through Johnny's and then down into Winger's Dip for the first time there. We can see Elijah already overtaking, using that track craft that he's clearly got. As they go round Winger's Dip, they'll come up through the bus stop. As they race up the hill, through the bus stop, let's have to off the gas a little bit and then foot down as they come through up into Midgets. For that big right hander down into Climate, where they'll carry loads of speed, where they'll have to come off the gas just a little bit into that right hander, down through Tolley's, and then they'll come over the start and finish line for the first time. And it is the 43 of Ethan Copeland from Harvey Ball, Freya Bond, Matt Tomsit, Warren Atkins, Louis Lavelle, Elijah West, all already up to 7th, 10 places gained pretty much. Max Smith, Harrison Parkin make up the top 10. So that was a good opening lap for Elijah West. He was dominant in that first round, but Ethan Copeland, he's the one leading the way from Harvey Ball and Freya Bond. So Harvey Ball up 1 spot, Freya down 1 spot. Max Thompson's gained a couple of positions, as has Warren Atkins. Elijah the big mover with Max Smith and Harrison Parkin. So they're back up through Midgets already. Ethan just starting to pull away a tiny bit. He's got just a little bit of a gap from Harvey Ball as they come over the start-finish line here. 44.0 for Ethan. Sorry, good time in that. He's getting down towards the 43s. Everybody comes through. Still Harvey, Freya, Max, Louis, and Elijah up to 6th. So we've got a race on as they go down. And Johnny's down into the Winger's Dip, into that right-hander, up through the bus stop. Bit of a gap between the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and then the 4th, 5th, and 6th drivers right on top of each other as Elijah goes in. And I tell you what, Elijah was really strong going through the bus stop there. It's not necessarily a passing spot, but there was a bit of action coming through the bus stop. Unfortunately, somebody has lost out there, but it hasn't affected Ethan Copeland, who's out front still from Harvey Ball, Freya Bond. Louis Lavelle has moved up. Elijah West is now up into 5th. Big old pack there as we run through from like 11th or 12th all the way down to 18th or 19th. Ethan still leading the way from Harvey Ball, Freya Bond, Louis Lavelle, Elijah West, Max Smith, George Beck. Interesting to see if anything comes back from that action we had through the bus stop. Elijah's been forceful coming up. I can just see Elijah's gone up into 4th as they came through Midgets at the top. Ethan Copeland still leading the way. 1.4 second gap to Harvey Ball, and there's a 1.4 down to Freya, 1.1 down to Elijah, and then about 0.5 down to Louis in 5th. So the front 5 just starting to create a little bit of a gap. The pack there. Still plenty of movement. There's some big movers in the field. Lenny Dorrington, Jensen King, Alicia Waters, they've all gone up 3 places. Harrison Parkin's gone up 4. Oakley Poulter and Matt Thompson, they were the two that have lost out. They've dropped way down the field towards the back end now, following a couple of incidents. So the front runners starting to just catch up now. The tail enders at the back of the grid. Ethan comes back over that start-finish line, still leading from Harvey Ball, Freya Bond. Roger West in fourth. And you can see the 19 of Arthur Kaiser on track there. Currently sat, has moved up into 11th now. It's gone from 12th to 11th. A bit of action there for Arthur Kaiser. But again, you're not going to necessarily win or lose the day in the opening heat, so it's about consolidating, maybe sticking a little bit, not twisting, losing positions. So the 19 of Arthur Kaiser seems to be working his way up through the pack a little bit. So the 43 of Ethan now has crossed the finish line again from Harvey Ball, who comes through underneath me. Elijah West up into third now, chasing down the front two with Ethan and Harvey. There's a 2 to 3 second gap. Elijah West to catch up to those front two. But Louis Lavelle in 5th, Max Smith 6th, George Beck 7th, Oliver Dan 8th, Arthur Kaiser is up into 9th, gained a couple of positions in the last couple of laps, Charlie Dickinson 10th, Henry Perrin, Harry Reid, they make up the top 12 at the moment. But those front few are pulling away. Ethan Copland, Harvey Ball and Elijah West. There's a bit of a gap then to Freya. So we'll just keep an eye. Coming back round over the start-finish line in front of me again is the 43 of Ethan Copland, as you're just watching the bus stop there as the drivers come through. So those front three, they're the three we've got that 2.5 minutes plus the lap to go on this one. Seeing the 44 car of Henry Perrin there make a dive and a great move through Tollies over the start-finish line, gained a few places there. Henry Perrin. Still Ethan out front, fastest time on track with 43.59 at the moment for Ethan, leading the way. Not far behind in terms of timing is Elijah West with 43.6. And then there's a 43.9 from Oliver Dan back in 8th, so he's starting to put in some good times. 43.6 for Zane Williams back in 16th. So some good times. People in amongst the action, not necessarily with a free track in front of them. Start finish line, you can see the guys going there. Zane Williams, bit of movement, 13th. Putting in some good lap times. Just try and keep an eye on those front runners. With about a minute and a half to go, we'll focus back in on those front three of Ethan, Harvey and Elijah. There's 43 car of Ethan coming over the start finish line. 40 of Harvey Ball and the 99 of Elijah West. That's the front three. Freya Bond and Louis Lavelle not that far behind in that top 5. We'll focus in on the leading car, which is Ethan Copland there on screen. Harvey Ball about 3 seconds behind there from Ethan. And he's about half a second back to Elijah West. So there's a bit of work for the second and third cars to do if they are going to catch up with Ethan. Second and third cars just there, a bit of action as he has Elijah then moved through the bus stop. So the leader's coming round into Tollies now to take the start finish line. And the second and third car of Harvey and Elijah now on top of each other as they come over the start finish line. So that gap is about 4 seconds. So there's work to do for the second and third car if they're going to catch up with Ethan, who's led from the front in this one. He's doing really well. The battle is for second. We're watching that on screen now. Elijah just trying to find the right time to make that move down through the Whingers dip up into the bus stop. Who's going to carry the most speed? And it still is Harvey in second. Elijah pretty forceful through the bus stop, but still on the chase. There's Ethan out front, still leading the way, and up in midgets. I think Elijah West has made a move around the outside of midgets there into second place. Not an inside move as you tend to see through there, but an outside move up into second place. So we are on the last lap. And Ethan, I would say with 4 seconds, has got a comfortable lead. He was led from the front. From Elijah now up into second, Harvey Ball third, Freya Bond and Louis Lavelle that have had that 4th and 5th pretty consistent for the entire race. Max Smith in 6th, Oliver Dan, George Beck, Arthur Kayser up into 9th, and Zane Williams, they make up the top 10. So on screen, Ethan has got the gap, he's got enough space and time to come through midgets, down into climate. He's led from the front, driven really well. He's got the fastest lap time with a 43.4. Over the start finish line, hand in the air, victory, and Elijah West will pick up 2nd place. With pretty close Harvey Ball, and then that little battle between Freya Bond and Louis Lavelle for 4th and 5th has been going on all race, and they do finish in 4th and 5th respectively. And then we see Oliver Dan moving up into 6th at the final knockings from Max Smith, George Beck, Arthur Kayser, and Zane Williams comes across to make up the top 10. So a good race out front from that front 3. Ethan led from the front. Harvey had 2nd place for most of the race before Elijah managed to work up into that 2nd place. And it was Freya and Louis really consistent in that 4th and 5th for the entire race. There we can see Ethan Copland, Elijah West, Harvey Ball, Freya Bond, Louis Lavelle, Oliver Dan, Max Smith, George Beck and Arthur Kayser made up the top 9, with Zane Williams making up the top 10. That was a good first showing from the Rotax. And the Rotax guys. Jack Daniels, who sat 4th in the championship, not here today, so again, opportunity for a few drivers to move up in the standings. Again, some good lap times. People improving as the race went on in terms of lap time, but it was the 43.4 from Ethan out front, who had fresh air and a clear track. Quite a number of the drivers getting into the 43s. Zane Williams was a 43.5 with a really quick down from Zane down in 10th place. Dropping down towards the back of the pack, it was 44s and 45s. From 8 or 9 getting into the 43s. Oakley Poulter, Arthur Kayser, Amelia Jade Hay, Warren Atkins, Louis Lavelle, Oliver Dan, Harrison Parkin, Jack Hudson, Alicia Waterhouse, Freya Bond, Harvey Ball, Ethan Copland, winner first time out, Henry Perrin, Roman Takata, Max Smith, Zane Williams, Harry Reid, Nixie Hay, Charlie Dickinson, Chloe Van Beneden, George Beck, Max Thompson and Elijah West, who was 2nd first time out, 3rd Harvey Ball and Freya Bond, 3rd and 4th first time out. So we'll just get these guys into formation. Quite a few black novice plates you'll see out in this one. Start down the order. See them starting near the front. So you're going to see Elijah West 3rd off the grid in this one. And winner first time out was Ethan Copland, who's down in 7th off the grid. And Harvey Ball down in 8th. So a bit of work for them two to do to get up near the front. As everybody slows down as they come through to us over the start finish line for the first time. Let's keep an eye on the 30 and the 40 carts of Jack and Henry. And Elijah West already made a move through the Haynes Loop. Elijah takes the lead. Great start, good opening part of that lap up into the lead. Already for Elijah West, the 99 kart gold helmet. So we'll keep an eye on all these guys changing places as this race develops. But Elijah West already, as they go through the bus stop, has stolen a march really on the other guys. A couple of drivers just come off at the bus stop there. Hands go up in the air. Can everybody get back on track? It's still rolling, still moving. Yes, everyone's back on. So as they come down through climate into Tolly's, the left-hander, Elijah West from, down the grid, up to lead. Fastest lap time as well. From Max Smith, Henry Perrin, Harvey Ball, Oliver Dan, George Beck, Harry Reid. There's some big moves there. Oliver Dan at 5, Harvey Ball up 4. Zane Williams down in 10th, up 7 places. So a bit of movement. Henry Perrin started at the front, just dropped a couple of places, but only a couple. And Jack Hudson, who came off, has dropped down to 15th. So that was our opening lap, which did see Elijah West going through your screen there, move up to lead. And essentially already has got a couple of seconds lead, and anticipate that won't change. And see Elijah pulling away as this race develops, so we will keep a close eye on the battles for second, third and fourth. They come through, we've got the 44, the 40 kart up into third of Harvey Ball, Max Smith doing second, Oliver Dan. Again, just trading places as they come under the start-finish line where we are here. But we will keep an eye on that little battle there from 61, 40, 24 and 44. That's the battle for second, third and fourth. Already a 2.5 second gap from Elijah West out front. I think Elijah will just pull away in this one. So we will pan to Elijah every now and then, but the battle is going to be for those placings behind. Everybody pretty close as they get through the bus stop. Somebody else off at the bus stop onto the grass. But again, safely back on. Yeah. So everyone's still rolling, which is good. Elijah West, let's keep an eye on that 2.4 second gap. That's gone now to Harvey Ball in second, 2.6 seconds to Max Smith, George Beck, Henry Perrin, Louis Lavelle, Zane Williams, Warren Atkins, Arthur Kayser, Freya Bond up into 10th. So we'll keep an eye on that battle here for second, third and fourth, really. Elijah West is going to pull away as this race evolves. Fastest time as well of 43.9, so into the 43s for Elijah. 44.07 from Harvey Ball in second. So Elijah's already up round through midgets, but everyone else coming through the bus stop. And again, second place now, Harvey Ball's just got a bit of breathing space. Back to the third place car of the third place battle really there of Max Smith, George Beck, Henry Perrin and Lou Lavelle. So Elijah through. A 2.7 gap back to Harvey Ball, and then it is still Max Smith, George Beck, Louis Lavelle, Zane Williams there. That's the battle there for what is now the third place battle. Just keeping an eye down. There was again some big movers, new drivers moving up through the order. Louis Lavelle, they've gone up 11 and 12 places respectively. Leonard Dorrington's gone up 11 in the middle of the Jack Hudson is the unfortunate one. They've gone down 11 places down to 13th at the moment. But we'll keep an eye on this battle here. This is the second, third and fourth battle, which is really high up. The first and second, really, the guys have pulled away. So it's down to third place and Max Smith. And then there's a little close chasing pack there of Zane Williams, George Beck, Louis Lavelle, Henry Perrin. That's the chasing pack. Elijah's got fresh air, and Harvey has to a degree as well. There's a 2 to 3 second gap between first and second, second and third. We'll keep an eye as they race up into midgets. So Elijah out front. Harvey comfortable in second now. There is a bit of movement going up into midgets. Bit of movement there going up. So as they come around, Elijah's got that lead. We know that. Harvey's comfortable in second. Has that gap increased from Elijah? Yeah, it's over 3 seconds now. But then this is what we're going to focus on. 68 of Zane Williams is up into third from Max Smith, Louis Lavelle, George Beck. That is the battle there for third. That's what we'll focus on now, that chasing pack. We'll just keep an eye as they come through the Haynes loop. Everybody safely through. That's very close there as they come through. Red, white, green helmet really stands out. So yeah, Elijah's comfortable out front. 3 minutes plus a lap here. Harvey in second, and again that lead's just being extended. But then it's the 68 kart then of Zane Williams, 61 Max Smith, Louis Lavelle, George Beck, Arthur Kayser, Freya Bond, Warren Atkins, Henry Perrin. They make up the top 10. Max Thompson in 11th, Jack Hudson, Henry Reid, Leonard Dorrington, Oliver Dan with a bit of movement there, Alicia Waterhouse, Oakley Poulter, and Harrison down there. So the front 2 or 3, look at this little battle here. We've got a great battle from the 23 kart there with Louis Lavelle to George Beck, Arthur Kayser, Freya Bond. That is a good battle there. The first and second is comfortable. Those guys have got breathing space. I think in third place as well. England's looking pretty comfortable in third at the moment too. 68 of Zane is comfortable. The battle is for fourth. Louis Lavelle, Max Smith, Arthur Kayser, Freya Bond. That little pack of 4 or 5 karts there. That's a really good little battle. You can see the 19 of Arthur Kayser in the mix there. So it is Louis Lavelle leading that chase for fourth. And it's all about accumulating points here. Keep an eye on the 19. Just have a little look up the inside there. Arthur Kayser on Max Smith. Still looking, to be honest. Still looking, but Arthur's Max Smith, sorry, there was just covering his tracks, making sure there is no inch given for anybody to take advantage. So Elijah's out front, pulling away. Harvey Ball comfortable in second. Zane Williams has got that third. And then this chasing pack, this is what's interesting. Louis Laval still holding on from the 61 of Max Smith. Arthur Kayser, Freya Bond and George Beck. That's the battle. Warren Atkins and Henry Perry not a million miles away either. So that little group there chasing and fighting as they go down into Winger's Dip. 61 car there of Max Smith. Louis Laval still just ahead of that pack. Yeah, I was just trying to see where Louis Laval was. I took my eyes off the screen for a second. Louis, I think, is still in fourth. Just now got a small gap from the others. So first, second, third and fourth have all pretty much got their own races going on here. Although Zane Williams is catching, I'll give Zane that. That lead that Harvey Ball has got over Zane Williams is coming down. It's only 1.6 seconds now, but is there enough time left on track? We've got 22 seconds plus the lap. Is there enough time for the 68 car of Zane Williams to catch up with Harvey Ball in that second place battle? I don't think there is, but it's giving it a good go. There's fresh air out front for Elijah West, no drama there. Same for Harvey Ball in second. And I think that third place of Zane Williams is pretty safe. So Elijah West takes the last lap board underneath us. About a 5-second gap now through to Harvey Ball in second place. And then Zane Williams is not going to give up till that checkered flag, and Louis Lavelle still holds fourth from Freya Bond. Arthur Kayser's up, and George Beck is up ahead of Max Smith, who drops down to 8th. Warren Atkins in 9th, and Henry Perrin in 10th. So that sees out our top 10 at the moment. So we'll just keep an eye. Elijah West has gone through the bus stop and is heading up into midgets. Down into climbers. The win is going to be with Elijah West, second in the opening heat. He's taken a win in this one. Harvey Ball is going to get a second and a third from those first opening two heats. And I tell you, Zane Williams, that lead has really come down. That gap, sorry, to 1.5 seconds, but it is a third. And Louis Laval with the fourth. And then that chasing pack of Louis Laval, Freya Bond, Arthur Kayser, George Beck, Warren Atkins moves up ahead of Max Smith. 9th, Henry Perry in 10th. So that is our top 10 in that one. Elijah West worked through on that opening lap, got out front, got fresh air, and was about 4.5 seconds. Victor in the end from Harvey Ball, who had a similar experience in second place, was never really under threat as the race developed, and Zane Williams worked through the pack wonderfully well, as did Louis Lavelle and Freya Bond. They all gained big advantage as the race developed. So you can see, just see the black novice, the black plate there, 68 of Zane Williams, that's the novice plate, so they're doing very well. But that was our top 10 as we looked before, and then it was Max Thompson, Oliver Dan, Jack Hudson, Lenny Dorrington, Alicia Waterhouse, Harry Reid, Harrison Parkin, Oakley Poulter, Roman Takata and Chloe Van Beneden. They made up the top 20. And then Jensen King, Amelia Jade Hay, Charlie Dickinson, Nixie Hay and Ethan Copland didn't see the race out after a win in the opening one. So from front to back in those two heats. But Elijah West, second in the first one, first in the second one. Harvey Ball, third in the first one, second in the first. So good point scoring from them two. And Zane Williams, finish. Louis Lavelle with the fourth. Freya Bond with that fifth. So fourth and fifth for Freya, fourth and fifth for Louis. Ethan unfortunately was the big loser from heat 1 into heat 2. We've seen out that race. Some good point scoring, consistent point scoring from those top 4 or 5 there. Just a few replays, a couple of passing moves. You can see 61 there ducking down, trying to gain as much speed. Max there, and yeah, that was a spin off there. I think that is what did put Hay race. Moving through there into the bus stop. It's Louis Lavelle coming up the inside there. Into the bus stop. 2 fourths and a third for Jackson Hayes. Great race from those guys, so they'll progress through to their finals now, and we'll get the grid start, we'll get the running order for that final when we get close. So let's move on to the Rotax Inters. Running out, we've got Jensen King, Lenny Dorrington, Oakley Poulter, Arthur Kayser, Amelia Jade Hay, Warren Atkins, Louis Lavelle, Oliver Dan, Harrison Parkin, Jack Hudson, Alicia Waterhouse, Freya Bond, Harvey Ball, Ethan Copland, Henry Perrin, Roman Tanter, Matt Smith, Zane Williams, Harry Reid, Nixie Hay, Charlie Dickinson, Chloe Van Beneden, George Beck, Max Thompson, and Elijah West. Gold helmets. So again, all of these drivers have all had, it's a rolling start, they've all had a position near the front, near the middle, near the back. So they've all had a spread across the grids. So far today, it's been a first and second in the 2 heats for Elijah West. Ethan Copland picked up a win. Harvey Ball has had a second and a third. Zane Williams picked up a 3rd place. And then some consistent 4ths and 5ths for Louis Lavelle and Freya Bond. So let's see what this heat brings. Arthur Kayser, Oliver Dan, Louis Lavelle, Harrison Parkin, they're the ones that find themselves near the front of this grid, and here's the 19, 26 and 24 that get away. Arthur, Harrison and Oliver. Whoa, big contact going off the bow, off the home straight from the 76 car of Nixie Hay. So it looks like we have a car out. Can't quite clock the number from here, might be 14. Jensen King, really disappointing if that is indeed the end of the race for Jensen. Not sure whether we'll try and get Jensen back on track. Good if we did. So let's just keep an eye now as the guys race up into midgets for the first time. Take that right down in towards Climate. Already up into a fighting position at the front, 2nd place. So as they come across start finish line, it is the 24 of Oliver Dan from Elijah West, Harrison Parkin, Louis Lavelle, Warren Atkins, Oakley Poulter, Max Smith, Jack Hudson, Max Thompson, Harvey Bell, top 10. So the front 2 pulling away the 24 of Oliver Dan and Elijah West. Oliver Dan hasn't troubled the front 4 or 5 today, so he's doing really well at the moment. So he can stay there to get some good points to add towards that final. So we have got yellow flags out here. We've got a couple of drivers off. Very disappointed that their race has ended. Here's Jensen King, as we thought, in that 14, and it looks like Arthur Kayser as well. Such a shame for them 2 guys. But as the race leaders come round, it is Elijah West up to take the lead from Oliver Dan, 24. And the 20 of Louis Lavelle up to 3rd, Warren Atkins 4th, Harrison Parkin 5th. So top 5 as they go through Haynes Loop, the left into Climate, down towards the Winges Dip. Front 2 just pulling away a tiny bit from Louis Lavelle in 3rd at the moment. It's the 26 and the 22 battling for 4th place there, Warren Atkins and Harrison Parkin. Close battle between them 2. That's the front 2. Elijah's worked his way up to the front. 7 places gained off the grid. Started in 8th up to 1st. Looking to add a 2nd heat win to his 2nd place in the opening heat. That's the front 2 as they come over now. Elijah and Oliver still pretty close from them 2 at the front. Louis Lavelle in 3rd, Warren Atkins, Harrison Parkin, Harvey Ball moves up, as does Ethan Copland, into that top 10. Front 2 just edging away a little bit. The 76 car at the back there is Nixie Hay, so a lot of blue flags coming for Nixie as everyone catches up. The front 2 do pass before the bus stop. Through the bus stop, Louis Lavelle will then try and get past as they head up towards midgets. Does so. So the front 3 all circumnavigate Nixie. Unfortunately, the back marker in this at the moment. Big move coming round from the 22 and the 26. So Warren and Harrison both getting better than Nixie. Lots of blue flags for Nixie as this lap develops. 7 or 8 cars chasing close proximity. And very well just to move out the way there, let everybody through. Very well done as they head down towards Winges Dip. So, how's we're looking? About half a second from Elijah West down to Oliver Dan. Like I say, Oliver hasn't mixed up in the front 5 yet today, so this is a good return at the moment for him. Louis Lavelle again a little bit lonely in 3rd at the moment, not close enough. to have a go at 24 Oliver Dan, but he's far enough ahead of Warren Atkins and Harrison Parker under pressure. So, Elijah West, Oliver Dan, Louis Lavelle, Warren Atkins, Harrison Parker, Harvey Ball, Ethan Copland, Zane Williams, Oakley Poulter and Max Smith. They make up the top 10 at the moment. These guys pulling away from George Beck, Freya Bond, Max Thompson, Henry Perrin, Alicia Waterhouse, Charlie Dickinson in 16th, Chloe Van Beneden in 17th, and Jack Hudson in 19th, currently in 19th. So the front three have all got a bit of fresh air now. Elijah West has pulled away from Oliver Dan, who likewise has pulled away from Louis Lavelle. So the front three are in their own little races here, looking pretty comfortable. Fourth place is a similar story now for 22 of Warren Atkins, but 40 of Harvey Ball pushing hard with Harrison Parker and Zane Williams. That little battle there is going to be a good one. As this race develops, there's 4 or 5 karts, they're all in the mix. From the 40 back to the 43 of Ethan Copland. Harvey Ball, Zane Williams, Ethan Copland. Battle until there's about a second and a half gap to 9th place Oakley Poulter at the moment. There we can see racing up into the bus stop, the 68 and 43. Zane Williams and Ethan Copland as they race up towards midgets. Into that right-hander, then carry the speed down into Climber. Another right-hander for a left. Takes him over the start-finish line. Front three looking really comfortable at the moment. They're pulling away. Fourth as well. Here Warren Atkins comfortable as his 40 Harvey Ball. So, there's not much threat to anybody's positions in those front 4 or 5 places. It's not until we get back really 60 and 43, 16 and 43 of Zane Williams and Ethan Copland when there's a bit of back developing. Everywhere else on track at the moment is pretty set, pretty comfortable. The front three are following each other but not really losing or gaining. There's about a second and a half between each of them. 3 back to Oliver, then 7 back to Louis. And they've all driven really well. Louis driven really well today as well. A 4th and a 5th. 3rd place to that 4th and 5th in the heats already. Elijah West looking to add another pole position. 1, 1 and 2. Another victory, another checkered flag. And Oliver Dan, like I was saying, going to get his best return in those 3 heats to help him get a better starting position in that final. So about a minute and a half to go plus a lap on this one. Front 3 pretty set. No change there. Can't see any changes bar mechanical. There is a great battle developing for 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. Warren Atkins, Harvey Ball, Zane Williams and Ethan Copland. They're having a really good battle, those 4. As they come around, midgets down into Climate. Get the best possible finish they can out of this. And we've got a good race. It is the 14th now of Harvey Ball. That sat in 4th. From the 68 of Zane Williams, Ethan Copland and then Warren Atkins. That's the 4, that's the battle. That's what we're showing you on screen. The front 3 have got distance between them. They've all got about a second and a half to 2 seconds gap. So there's not much racing going on at the front. This is a good battle that we've got out on track at the minute. Harvey Ball, Zane Williams, Ethan Copland, Warren Atkins, that's 7th to 4th. And they're battling for those points to finish in 4th place through the bus stop. Curb on the way in, loads of curb on the way out. Then race up to the midgets. Foot down, flat out as they drop down into Climate. Is there a gap at the inside? Is anybody looking at this stage? No, comfortable as they get through there. And is there a move up the inside coming into Tollies? No, they're all set to carry on as they are. Harvey Ball, Zane Williams, Ethan Copland just starting to break away a tiny bit from Warren Atkins. So it's developed from a 4-way battle into a 3-way battle. We'll still keep that on screen. About 20 seconds plus the lap, so they can still trudge places. Here we go, the 68 of Zane Williams up the inside with a 40, but straight back. Who's going to have this run up into the bus stop? Just lose them there, but catch them again. And I'll tell you what, the 68, Zane Williams did really well there to get ahead of Harvey Ball. As they go around midgets, the 3 of them, nothing to choose between these 3. It will be a last lap board here for Elijah West as he comes over start-finish line. He's leading. From the 24 of Oliver Dan, not been left for dead, Louis Lavelle, still in that 3rd place. Here's our battle, this is what we're interested in. Is Zane Williams holding 4th from Harvey Ball and Ethan Copland, those 3. That's the race for 4th, 5th and 6th. That's the action we've got on track. That's what we'll keep an eye on until the last corner when we'll probably pick up Elijah West for the win. These 3 are now catching up to the 76 of Nixie Hay, who's had blue flags unfortunately all race, but dealt with them extremely well. Done the same thing again. Good driving from Nixie there. Pulled out the way, let those 3 pass safely. Showing good understanding of the race. So, a couple of corners to go. These three. Elijah West, he's taken that checkered flag. He's done that easily. We'll keep an eye on these three because this is the race. 68, 40 and 43. Is there going to be any change? No, it's going to remain. So it is Elijah West with the win from Oliver Dan, Louis Lavelle, and then Zane Williams holding on to that little mini battle for fourth over Harvey Ball, Ethan Cochran, Warren Atkins, Freya Bond, Harrison Parkin, Max Smith make up your top 10. And then George Beck, Oakley Poulter, Max Thompson, Henry Perry, Anisha Waterhouse, Charlie Dickinson, Jack Hudson, Chloe Van Beneden, and Lenny Dorrington, Roman Takata make up the top 20. Well done, Elijah West. Another win. Good second place for Oliver Dan, as we will see now. And again, times were good. He was on the pace there. The fastest race time you can see there is Zane Williams with a 43.51. So Oliver Dan gets in amongst podiums in that one, which was terrific. Louis Lavelle likewise at a third, a fourth and a fifth in the heats for him. Very happy with that. Zane Williams fourth place finish, right to the third earlier on, so always backing away at the front there. Ball, second, third and fifth. So there's your top five. Some good action on track in that one, really enjoyable. So we've got the senior Rotax up out on track next. You've got a couple of carts to clear, which they're doing now. Unfortunately for those young guys, a great move there from the 68. Zane Williams, who eventually got up onto the top three. And again, just a shout out for those guys like Nick Tay that were at the back, that were getting blue flags, that were moving out of the way. Fantastic understanding of the race procedure. So even though they're not at the front, mixing with the front, they're still contributing to a good race. Chloe Van Beneden, George Beck, Max Thompson and Elijah West, who will find himself on the front of the grid for the rolling start. So your front six will be Elijah West alongside Harvey Ball, Louis Lavelle alongside Freya Bond, Oliver Dan alongside Zane Williams. Max Smith in 7th, George Beck in 8th, Ethan Coupland in 9th, and Henry Perrin in 10th. So, good luck to all of these guys. Zane Williams with the 68 black plate there is the highest finishing novice through the heats. It's exceptionally well to work his way up through the field on many an occasion. So, this is Elijah West to lose, you feel, as they come round. If he makes that start and pulls away ahead of Harvey Ball and Louis Lavelle, here we go, off they go. And who has made that start? And it does look like Harvey Ball has got the better of Elijah West going into Haynes Loop as they get the run around. If Harvey keeps that going, Elijah West stamps authority on that. From the 37, Freya Bond in 3rd place and Louis Lavelle the 23 in 4th place as they race down into the Wingers dip, into that right-hander. Really, really good racing there from the front two. They both put it to each other going around the Haynes Loop, but it was Elijah West that got the best of Harvey Ball eventually. Freya Bond and Louis Lavelle have held on to those 3rd and 4th places as they all come around the Wingers dip. Around Midget, into Climate, then they're left into Tollies. Let's have a look where we've got here. So we have got Elijah West from Harvey Ball, from Freya Bond, from Louis Lavelle, Zane Williams in 5th, Oliver Dan, Ethan Coupland, Arthur Kaiser, Henry Perrin and Harrison Parkin. That's your top 10. In a minute, they're on the back wheels of Elijah West, not being able to pull away. There's nothing between them. Looking at the timings, everyone's staying nice and close on this opening lap. That's what we want to see. In terms of timings, Elijah West out front has got the fastest lap time with a 45.42. Fastest in the first sector. Oliver Dan is the fastest in the second sector at the moment. Go now to Ethan Coupland as he goes round. So the front 6 or 7 have just started to pull away a little bit now, and that is Elijah West leading the way from Harvey Ball, Freya Bond, Louis Lavelle, Zane Williams, Oliver Dan and Ethan Coupland. They've pulled away. They've got a bit of a gap from the rest of the field. Head around Haynes Loop, down left. John is down. Keep an eye on Louis Lavelle there. Has had a little look up the inside. Couldn't make it work. Back up now towards the bus stop. Harvey Ball pulling alongside Elijah West. That allows the 37 Freya Bond just to reel them in a little bit. Just looking up the inside of Louis Lavelle is Zane Williams, and he's made that work, and a couple might get through. No, just the one in the end. Just that orange helmet got the better of Louis Lavelle, but it is Elijah West leading the way from Harvey Ball. Freya Bond in third, and it was a big move from the 68 of Zane Williams up into fourth ahead of Louis Lavelle. Those 5, 6, 7 you could say have just started to pull away from the 8th car of Arthur Kayser. He is still there or thereabouts before there is a 3 or 4 second gap all the way back to the 26 car, sorry, Harrison Parkin. So up they come. There's the front battle. That's the battle for the lead. Elijah West, Harvey Ball, front 2. Freya Bond, Zane Williams, Louis Lavelle, they make up the top 5, and joining them at the minute is Oliver Dan, Ethan Coupland as well. So a really good 7-way battle out front here for the lead of this race. Elijah was put under pressure by Harvey Ball going into Haynes Loop for the first time on the opening lap, but managed to hold on to it. And those front 7 are just pulling away, hanging on to Harvey Ball and Elijah West out front, the remaining 5 behind. Really close. And still that gap back to 8th in Arthur Kayser, and then a 4-second gap back to Harrison Parkin, who's leading that chasing pack from 9th through to about 14th. So still a couple of battles in one going on, but at this moment in time it's still Elijah West out front with the fastest lap time. Fastest first sector now is with Oliver Dan. He's doing very well in that respect. Just needs to get up a little bit into those 3rd, 4th and 5th. Or move up the inside there going into Tolly's. Will they be able to make it work? It's the 43 of Ethan Coupland, but Louis Lavelle fires back up the inside into the Haynes Loop. So the front 2, still the front 2, just a small gap now between them and Zane Williams in 3rd, and a small gap back, just growing a tiny bit to Freya Bond. About half a second there, as that gap just starts to increase. But the front 2 of Harvey Ball, who's had a 2nd, 3rd and 5th in the heats, and Elijah West, who's had 2 wins and a 2nd in the heats. Those two have been batting at the front all day long. Zane Williams has had a 3rd and a 4th in the heats. He's in 3rd place at the minute. Freya Bond has been in the top 5 on 2 occasions. So these front runners have pretty much been there all day. They're doing it again now. The front 3, 68 of Zane Williams, just starting to eat into that little lead at the front. So those 3 just starting to look a bit closer than they were, and it could go to a 3-way battle if Zane Williams can just hold on to the back wheels of Harvey Ball. Freya Bond, Louis Lavelle, Ethan Coupland, Oliver Dan, Arthur Kayser, Alicia Waterhouse and Warren Atkins. They make up the top 10 at the moment. A couple of big gaps there when you get down that 5 seconds. There's a 3 and a 4-second gap down at the lower down the order, but the front 3 now, just a small gap to 4th place, Freya Bond, and then another gap back to those 3 chasing behind her, Louis Lavelle, Ethan Coupland and Oliver Dan. As they come over the start-finish line for the first time, we're watching the front of the race here. This is the front 3 who have just now got a bit of a gap to 4th, and it is Freya Bond, who's got a bit of a lonely drive at the minute, nothing in front of her, nothing really putting her under too much pressure behind. But let's keep an eye on these front 3, the gold helmet of Elijah West, the white helmet of Harvey Ball and the orange helmet of Zane Williams. That's the front 3 as they go into the bus stop. Harvey Ball does just seem to carry a bit more speed as they approach the bus stop, but then you can see Elijah West just pulls away as they go up through midgets before dropping down into climber. But those 3 are the race. We've got 6.5 minutes plus a lap to go here in this one, and we've got a great race developing. The front 3, Elijah West, Harvey Ball, Zane Williams, that's your front 3. 4th place Freya Bond on her own at the moment. Before a 4-way battle behind her, Ethan Coupland moves up into 5th, Louis Lavelle, Oliver Dan and Arthur Kayser. They're in a 4-way battle of their own before the 33 car of Alicia Waterhouse in 9th and Warren Atkins in 10th. So we will just keep focused on this front 3. Zane Williams doing his best just to hang in there behind this front 2. These 3 haven't got enough room here just to breathe slightly easier, but they are going to start catching up. I think it's young Nixie Hay that they're going to catch up with here. Who's up there? It's the 76 of Nixie. So it's a similar position that Nixie's been in before. She received the blue flag and did it amazingly before, perfectly understood what was asked of her, got out of the way of the racing line. She's going to do the same thing here. Moves across, lets them go through. They get through. Some inside, some outside, but they get through, and they remain in the same position. Elijah West, Harvey Ball and Zane Williams. Well done, Nixie there. Again, she's going to have a few blue flags as the rest of the pack catch up on her. She's doing excellent though. First race, I believe, one of her first races. And again, hopefully she's got some faster lap times than she had at the start of the day, and everybody's improved on something today. But let's focus on those front three. Elijah West, Harvey Ball, Zane Williams. That's your front three. That's the battle with 4.5 minutes plus a lap to go. They pulled away, and Frey's just getting caught up a little bit now by Ethan Coupland, Oliver Dan and Louis Lavelle. And remember, even though there's no podium for some of these, there will be points on the board in the championship. So anything you can gain is good. Anything now is now that situation. I don't particularly like the do or die phrase, but you've got to go for it. As a time comes where you have to make a move, try and get those more points on the board. Go through midgets down into climate. Those front three have got to gap them from the 2, 4, 5, but chasing them back. Front three, Elijah West, as he's been on a couple of occasions today, leading the way, has got second place in Heat 1. So somebody has beaten him to the checkered flag today. And on that occasion was Ethan Coupland, who finds himself in 5th place at the moment. Front three, just with a bit of a gap then to the chasing 4. Front three on the screen, that's who we're keeping an eye on at the minute. So Elijah West, Harvey Ball, Zane Williams, that's our front three. Freya Bond, Ethan Coupland, Oliver Dan, Louis Lavelle, Arthur Kayser, Alicia Warshouse and Warren Atkins. They make up the top 10 at this moment in time. Some nice points coming for them in the championship. 11th, Max Tomsit and Max Smith, Jensen King, Harrison Parkin, Henry Perrin, George Beck, Lenny Dorrington, Oakley Poulter, Jack Hudson and Charlie Dickinson. They make up the top 20. And then Chloe Van Beneden, Amelia J.K., Harry Reid, Roman Takata and Nixie Hay as well. One of the racing sisters there, doing well. So, still a gold helmet leading the way from the white helmet and the orange of Harvey Ball and Zane Williams. That's your front three. That's our focus. Zane still within touching distance. And here we go, just heel at every time. Harvey Ball just seems to reel in Elijah a little bit. But then as they go back on the gas up to midgets, he just seems to get away. But there's nothing to choose between these three. Likewise now, there's nothing to choose between Ethan Coupland, Freya Bond and Oliver Dan as they chase that 4th, 5th and 6th place respectively. Round Tollies across the start-finish line, 2.5 minutes plus a lap to go. Front three as they have been the entire time. They are the front three, that is the race. There is still a battle going through Haynes Loop, 4th, 5th and 6th. They come out in the same order they went in with the 24 of Oliver Dan. Got the better there of Freya Bond, the 37. We'll keep an eye on that as they come up into the bus stop. Front three, still the front three, no change there. And yeah, Freya Bond just dropping down 2-6. So Oliver Dan got the better of Freya Bond as they went through the Haynes Loop. Tear around, 5.73 just come past me. Roman Takata and Harry Reid. Chased now closely by the front three of Elijah West, Harvey Ball, Zane Williams. Front three are the front three as they have been for the entire race. Grandstand looking packed now, everybody out watching these heats. Blue flags will be out now as the front pack starts to hunt down some of these back markers. They do a great job just keeping every back marker up to speed. Timekeepers in the box keeping an eye on this race, making sure that everybody knows to move when they need to move. A lot of organisation goes into this. It does deliver us some great racing. So we've got 1:10 plus the lap to go. The front three as they have been for the entire race. Elijah West, Harvey Ball, Zane Williams. That's your front three. They have dominated this final. That is going to be your front three, barring any disasters. But in what order, I do not know. Elijah West has looked in control, but at some point Harvey Ball or Zane Williams have got to make that move. They've got to have a go at it if they want to try and take P1 and take this top step on that podium. Blue flag still coming out for the back markers. So we are potentially going to see a last lap board here. We've got 30 seconds. We might even have a couple of laps left on this one. I think we will. Still going to be a 2-lap race now then for Elijah West, Harvey Ball, Zane Williams. Here they come. We have 2 laps left. Across the start-finish line again. 43 of Ethan Coupland, not that far behind. 3 seconds. Oliver Dan and Freya Bond, that's that little chasing pack. They're not going to be able to get up to challenge for the podium, but they're all battling for that 4th place. Let's keep an eye on that front 3 now as they come up towards the bus stop. Can Harvey Ball reel Elijah West in here? They chase up 2 midgets flat out in the direction of Basingstoke before they take that right-hander. They are catching up with a couple of back markers. This could get interesting. These guys hopefully will get the blue flags here to get out the way. They didn't get it out that venture, not at that Marshall post as they come round Tollies. Okay, we've got 2 back markers. Then we've got Elijah West. Harvey Ball into the last lap. Elijah's made the move. No blue flags for those back markers. I didn't notice any as they came round there. And that, I tell you what, has not played well for Zane Williams. Still being held up a little bit here, Elijah West. It's not as clean as it could be. Harvey Ball in 2nd. Oh, back markers in the way as they go through, and the back markers again have played a big part in this one. Not moving out of the way of the chasing pack, and there's now enough gap. I think Elijah West has got this in the bag. We didn't get that finale that I was hoping for. It is going to be Elijah West from Harvey Ball. Elijah West takes the win. Punches the air from Harvey Ball, delighted with 2nd, and not that far behind Zane Williams in 3rd. Excellent from those 3, led from the front. Likewise, Ethan Coupland, Oliver Dan, Freya Bond, Louis Lavelle, Arthur Kayser, Alicia Waterhouse will take 9th place, and Warren Atkins will come across in 10th. That makes up our top 10. An excellent race from those 3 out front. Just on the last lap, the back markers appeared when we didn't really want them to appear. You know, it's not their fault, it's just the nature of the race, it's how the race develops. It's just whether they see a blue flag in time just to move out the way, but it's also, they're racing flat out in their own little personal battles, trying to get their own fastest lap times or their own little battle on track. You know, they don't necessarily want to lose out either. So, yeah, one of them. But there is our top 10. Elijah West, Harvey Ball, Zane Williams, congratulations on the top 3. Ethan Coupland, Oliver Dan, Freya Bond, Louis Lavelle, Arthur Kayser, Alicia Waterhouse and Warren Atkins. They made up the top 10. Max Smith 11th, Jensen King, Max Thompson, Harrison Parkin, Lenny Dorrington, Henry Perrin, Oakley Poulter, Jack Hudson, George Beck and Charlie Dickinson make up the top 20. And then it was Chloe Van Beneden, Amelia Jade Hay, Harry Reid, Roman Takata and Nixie Hay. So well done to all those guys in the back that were having to get out of the way, and the front runners will come steaming through. Not the easiest thing to do is to get out of the way when you're still wanting to race as well. So to them for doing so, and massive congratulations to those front 3. Don't think there was any penalties or warnings or anything in that race. A very clean race from everybody. And I think a worthy winner. 2nd round on the spin for Elijah West. He's firmly in control of the championship.